Hello, good evening. Welcome back to the Dugout Football channel, where it's my first live stream in about 2-3 weeks. I actually can't remember the last one I did, but it's so good to be live with you guys this evening. And I've been joined by a very special guest. I finally managed to get him on the channel as well. It's Mr. Mick Moran from the Kopite podcast. How you doing, Mick?
Yeah, all good, mate. I was just saying, yeah, nice one for inviting me on. It's been we've been trying to organise it, and it's like either you're doing something or I'm doing something. But yeah, we finally did it. So here we go, yeah. And it's what a podcast to be doing when all this news coming out today about. I mean, obviously we'll get on to HENDO in a minute, but yeah, it's a bit of a mad day in the Liverpool world. Especially if you spend a lot of time on Twitter and social media, then it's probably not been a good place today. But yeah, nice one for inviting me on. But thanks for inviting me.
Absolute pleasure. And also, congratulations on 1K subscribers. Long time coming, may I just add. Very, very well done to both you and Jay. Really appreciate it.
No, it's you know what it is. It is a hard grind, YouTube, but once you start settling down a little bit and you start getting a bit of a following, it's nice. And last couple of our videos, like you said, you haven't done a live, but we haven't done a live for probably like a month now. So it's been nice to kind of like step back a little bit from the lives and just do like get some journalists on and do some like in-depth chats or like famous fans with Paul Smith, which was a great video I did with Boxer Paul Smith. I loved that. So stuff like that's really enjoyable. But I mean, once the season starts again, it's just going to be non-stop, isn't it? There's going to be match reviews and match previews all over the shop. So it's nice to step out of that a little bit and just kind of. But yeah, 1,000 subscribers. I didn't ever think we'd get there. So now that we have, I'm hoping that'll kind of be the catalyst for the next 1,000, hopefully.
Absolutely. Hello to Dave's LFC chats. Hello to Ian Clelland, Patrick Gira, and Helen Raybold. And I did notice Neil was in the chat about 10:36 this morning. So someone is very, very keen, wow. I would say. But obviously, yeah, 10:36. But we have to address the elephant in the room, and it is what I'm going to say, I think is a non-story. It's a load of absolute bullshit. Is Jordan Henderson contract saga, and Twitter, well, you either got to call it Twitter, it's like a rocket's gone off. Mick, what have you made of these rumours?
To be honest, when I seen initially, because it was James Pearce, wasn't it, that initially broke the news, I was thinking, is it a slow news day? What's going on? But then other people have been posting it, like Neil Jones has posted it, and it's like, I've read the piece from both of them, and there's obviously some weight there. There's some traction behind it. Obviously, otherwise those journalists wouldn't be posting like clickbaity stuff. They just don't do it, and they're just not about that life. So I don't know. At first, I was thinking it's a non-starter, like you said, but there must be something there. But I just can't see a world where Jordan Henderson is ever gonna not want to stay at Liverpool and until he's at least 30, 34, 35, and then if he goes back to Sunderland and has a little sign off there with his boyhood club, then we can't deny him that. But at the moment in time, like, he's 31, he's still fit. Obviously, he's picking up a few injuries here and there, but
yeah,
in terms of an all-round character on the field and off the field, you can't discount how big he is in terms of as a personality and as a player on and off the field. So I'm hoping it's not true, and I'm hoping that over the next coming days, maybe Klopp will just get interviewed or get asked a question by someone, and he'll just be like, no, absolutely not, he signed the contract or something like that, and he'll just put it dead to rights. So I'm hoping over the next couple of days that'll happen, just to kind of diffuse it all.
Yeah, Les Golden's just put it perfectly. I refuse to entertain the HENDO leaving rumours. Yeah, me too. And then Dave's gone, I think he will sign. Everyone needs to relax. And then we've got another one from Jordan Hyman LFC who's saying Jordan Henderson's leaving Liverpool. No, he's not. I've just read that. Liverpool need a new midfield. Do we? I mean, obviously I know Gini's left, etc., but we've still got Fabinho, Thiago, Keita to come in as well, Milner. Yes, it's an aging midfield, but the thing is, Jordan Henderson's still got 2 years left on his current deal. So we move him up to 33. So I honestly would say this. Calm down with the HENDO contract. I'm pretty sure something will be signed eventually. Would you go along with that?
I think so. I think people are obviously drawing comparisons to Gini Wijnaldum. I understand that completely because there was a lot of speculation. Will he sign? Will he not? And then the longer that the Genie situation went on, you knew that wasn't going to happen. And ultimately, he signed for PSG, not Barca, which was another shock. But I think Henderson, like, he's been here long enough, like 10 years. He knows the club inside out. He's our captain. I think surely he holds a little bit more weight in and around the club to kind of, when he comes back off. Obviously, like it said, like it's been stalled for a few weeks, but he's been at the Euros and he's on holiday. So nothing's really going to get sorted in those weeks anyway. It's going to be when he comes back and starts training again. Maybe those talks will start progressing a bit more. So I don't know if it's kind of maybe to put the cat amongst the pigeons, so to speak, and make it into a bit of a catalyst to get those talks a bit more progressed. But yeah, like the Kopites, like we done that chat with Neil Jones the other day, and that's been getting picked apart today by certain big LFC Twitter news channels, if you want to call them that, like on Twitter. Basically pulling out the bit where he said about Kate is definitely going to get a new contract, and I don't know if it's like, obviously that holds more weight today, because if you're saying Naby Keita, if Neil Jones said that Kate is going to get a contract, and then the news that's coming out today, Jordan Henderson isn't going to get one, it's just causing like mass hysteria. I think we should just call it the Hendo hysteria, just because that's what it's going to be for the next couple of days. And I think we just need to wait for it, wait a couple of days or wait a week or so, and it'll probably just blow over, and Jordan Henderson will sign a contract. I mean, someone will probably clip this in fucking 6 weeks' time if he ends up leaving or whatever. But if he ends up leaving, I will be very, very shocked, and I imagine a lot of people will be as well.
Yeah, Connor said if Hendo leaves, we riot. Yep, absolutely. Liz laughing at Connor. Oh, captain, my captain goes nowhere. Absolutely. Ian Cleland, I am not wearing a Spurs shirt. Do not give me that rubbish. Liz Golden, Twitter news is BS. Yes, I would absolutely agree. But obviously, it's a load of rubbish anyway. So we move on to, which is obviously what we're here for, is transfers in and out. Now, obviously, there hasn't been much ins and out. Well, there hasn't been much ins at Liverpool, and there's not been much outs, because obviously the only in is Ibrahima Konate, and the only out is Genie Wijnaldum. But how excited are you to see Konate? Yeah, you've got your T-shirt there as well.
Yeah. Majorly, I honestly can't wait. Like, there's been seeing like the videos with Van Dijk and Gomez and Matip back in action's been great, but to see Konate in and around all those players as well, I don't think we realise just how big that is. That all those three centre halves are there. Obviously, there's still Nat Phillips and Reece Williams and Ben Davies as well, but the three main centre halves alongside Konate, that this time they've got together now is like so vital for the start of the season. I mean, it's probably less than 30 days now until we kick off against Norwich. So I think we've got a friendly game on Tuesday, isn't he? So there's going to be plenty of time for them to kind of forge relationships. And I think there's been a few words from Klopp saying how good he looks, and Pep Linders saying that he's settled in well. And I mean, there's a little clip where Van Dijk's like on camera and he kind of barges him in the back, and it's like that kind of camaraderie where, like that's what Van Dijk's like, isn't he? He's not like he's not trying to say I'm the big boy around here. He's kind of having a little mess with him, knows that he's a young kid and he's still got a lot to learn. Like, I think he's 22, but he's still got a lot to learn, and I don't think there's any better place for him than Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp and Van Dijk to kind of guide him to what he needs to be and what he wants to be, and probably one of the best centre-halves in the world, hopefully in 2 to 3 years' time.
Yeah, absolutely. Demo Dre says, I saw Matip skip past Konate in training. Oh, my goodness. Matip scored in training. Did you see? He went on one of those mazy runs that he likes to go on, and he slotted it into the corner, which was lovely. Helen Rabel saying, rumours saying LFC will use Grooch to sign Malin, rolling on the floor laughing too much. Too funny. Oh, my goodness. Oh, dear. Konate is going to challenge players on the pitch and in social media. Yep. Absolutely. He's an absolute tank as Konate. Him and Van Dijk at the back seems very, very exciting, and I think it's quite illegal, to be honest with you. But obviously, we do have our first friendly tomorrow. Now, it is obviously only 30 minutes in this one. I think it's against Innsbruck, I think. Do you see Van Dijk starting in this game?
I'd be surprised if he doesn't get at least a few minutes. I mean, I know Klopp's confirmed Konate is going to play. I mean, if he doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised as well, because I mean, yeah, Konate probably start. I think he said Trent's going to play some minutes. Matip's going to play. Like you said, Matip looks like he's on fire in training, doesn't he? So he'll definitely play. So maybe he'll just play safe and go Matip and Konate to get Matip some match minutes, and obviously Konate to get bed him into the team a little bit more and see what he does in a full blown match. But yeah, I think there's 2 30-minute games, isn't it? I think one against Innsbruck and one against Stuttgart. So I don't actually know how that's going to work, but there's another couple. I think there's one on Thursday and there's one next week as well. So even if we don't see Van Dijk in any of these ones this week, I imagine we'll see him in the one next week. But even still, like we need to just be patient, because he's been out for a long time. So is Gomez, and the bound to have little hiccups along the way. I mean, there was, if you were on Twitter on was it Saturday, where the whole Gomez has missed the training session and everyone was losing the shit, and I was like, oh my god. And the club had to come out and deny it. It's like, oh my god, it's like peak Twitter. But yeah. Even if it's Matip and Konate, I'll be happy with that, just to see, because even like you said, Van Dijk and Konate is a cheat code, but I think even Matip and Konate, 6'5" and 6'4", both pretty quick and good on the ball. It's just I can't wait to see the partnerships that are getting forged, because there's so many little partnerships that you want to see, and I'm excited to see what Klopp does with them.
Yeah, definitely. Connor's just said that Konate and Matip to be the beginning centre-back partnership for the season, or at least pre-season. Yep, I would absolutely agree with that. I think they're going to bed Van Dijk in for sure. Hello to Chicken Man. That's a great name. That's a great name. Yeah, also the friendlies, I believe, are Mainz on Thursday, and I think it's Hertha Berlin. And then you've got the 2 Anfield friendlies that have been announced today, Valencia and Osasuna. So a lot of good wee friendlies to come. Okay, obviously we've only had one in, but do you see any more ins coming in the summer?
I honestly don't know. I mean, I keep mentioning Neil Jones' interview, but it's that video's done quite well, and he did say, I think even James Pearce has said, if you don't sign a midfielder and a forward, then it won't be a very good window for us, because I think we do need reinforcements in those areas. But people keep forgetting, don't they, that we've signed Konate, because we've done that deal so quickly. People kind of just put that on the back burner, like that didn't happen, but it did. It's a great signing, and people don't need to realise that was a great signing for us. Midfielder wise, I think, I honestly don't know. There's been a load of names, hasn't he? Every day you open up Twitter and you're like, oh, we're linked to Renato Sanchez and No House and Basuma, and there's just so many. And I think Newhouse or Basuma would a project type player is the type of player Liverpool go for, isn't it? So maybe a Basuma or No House might be good. And in terms of forward, a Marlon would be good. Obviously, you've seen him in the Dutch national team in the Euros. He looked really good, didn't he? So someone like that who can come in and isn't going to command the starting position, but can also kind of pave the way for after, because obviously our attacking three are getting on to the wrong side of 30, unfortunately. So we do need to start. Yeah. Obviously, Hotters came in to kind of do that because I think he's 24, so he can step into that role whenever, either the 3 front positions. But we do need to start maybe getting one each season, just to kind of start bedding them in, so that once those fellas do start getting to 32, 33, if they're still around, obviously, then we can kind of slowly phase them out and start with the younger kids that we've brought in. Yeah,
absolutely. Demo Dre says, I would definitely hope we get at least 2 more signings. Yeah, I'd absolutely agree with that. Jordan leaves, Salah has to be captain. Jordan Henderson's not leaving. Just get that idea out of your head, Jordan. Just get out of your idea, out of your head. As far as outs are concerned, obviously Gini Wijnaldum is the only out, and I believe Liam Miller was another one who left for Basel. There has been talk that Nat Phillips is the subject of a 15 million bid from Brighton as well. I have to say, Nat Phillips, I would be very, very sad to see him go, but I would understand why.
I would be, because what was it, back end of last year, he was just... There's no words to describe how good he was. He stepped into that mould, and he was none of us expected or could have expected how good he was, because he just came out of nowhere and he was just like wore his heart on his sleeve, and he was absolutely tremendous. And he started even getting better with like more of a ball playing defender towards the end. Like obviously towards the beginning, he was just heading absolutely everything away and kicking it away into Rose Ed. But then he started like getting a bit more confidence, and like you would, because he was like the main fella back there, and then Reece Williams is there, Kabak's there. So yeah, to be fair, like because he is 24, like he's what, same age as Gomez, isn't he? So if he wants to leave, then I do understand it. I would obviously none of us would begrudge him to stay, obviously, if he wants to stay, then we'd be happy. If he wants to leave, then we'd also be happy for him and shake his hand on the way out, say thanks for everything you did. You got us into third place. Off you go, and we make some money on you. That we wouldn't have ever made anywhere in the realm of what we were going to make this time last year. Before obviously he came into the side and done really well. So yeah, I think Brighton would be a good move for him. I think I was talking about like Burnley as well, weren't there? There's certain clubs that he would do really well at, and I think even when we came up, if he went to one of those clubs and we came up against them, I would be like, oh shit, facing Nat Phillips, and he's like, he might have like a little point to prove, but we know he's a good defender and he's a good fella, and he's came in and stuck to his guns and obviously done really well for us. So we can't begrudge him a move. So yeah, either way, I'm happy. It's one of them where if he goes, I'm happy. If he stays, I'm happy.
Yeah, Les Golden, I think Shaqiri will be leaving. There's been rumours about Lazio, I think, since the start of the Euros. But yeah, I think he wants to go, and I think if the club gets something for him, I think he will go. I think also that Grujic will be leaving. As well. Demo Dre says, I'd take Saul on the striker, not sure who yet, but if we move to a 4-2-3-1, playing Taki as a 10 and Bobby up top, I'm good with that. Taki will come good. Yeah, Taki is not in the Japan Olympic squad, which I was quite surprised to learn. So that's another added bonus. Obviously have him for pre-season, have him for potentially the first game. Do you see a future for Taki?
Taki's a weird one, isn't it? Because honestly, I had such high hopes when he came in, because obviously he came in for quite a nominal fee. It wasn't really a gamble, because was it like 7 million? It was like nothing really in today's football. And obviously we played against Salzburg in the Champions League, and he done really well against us, and we were like, well, this is a no-brainer. 7 million for a player that's got a high ceiling, could come in and do good, and if he doesn't do good, then it doesn't really matter, because we'd probably make about the same amount of money back. I do like the positive side of me really wants him to come in, and obviously the circumstances that he came in, it was like COVID, and like he wasn't really settling into the team. He wasn't really starting any games. He came in against Crystal Palace and scored like within 5 minutes, and then you thought, right, There we go. Taki's gonna start scoring now and start maybe playing a bit more and maybe assisting a few more and getting in the team and playing a bit longer. But it wasn't to be, and obviously then he got shipped out to Southampton. He'd done okay, but. Yeah, it's like Klopp though. With Klopp, it's always a fresh slate when players come back after being out on loan or whatever, or start of a new season. I imagine he just goes, right, let's see who impresses me. I don't think he lets any like past experiences kind of cloud his judgment. He'll be like, right, I'll look on this on face value and see how Taki's getting on. If he feels like he's struggling or whatever, then we'll probably just cut our losses. And I mean, like Harvey Elliott is a perfect example. Who's someone who's went out on loan. I mean, he's a lot younger than Taki, but went out on loan to Blackburn and got 7 goals, 11 assists, and done really well. So if Harvey Elliott proves to Klopp that he has got the mentality to step up and be a part of the first team, then that pushes Taki a little bit further out the door, in my opinion, because they probably play maybe a similar position on those wide areas as a forward. So yeah, honestly, there's a load of question marks overload. Like you said before, Shaqiri and Grujic and Wilson. There's a load of players that you're not quite sure what's going on, but. I suppose over the next couple of weeks, if we get the right offers in, then you'll see like maybe a domino effect and people start leaving, and then we might start to see some more incomings as well. Yeah,
definitely. Now, it's not long until the Premier League season starts. It's I think it's 27 days, I think there's something I read anyway. So I want to talk about the first 6 fixtures with you. So we've got Norwich City away, Burnley at home, Chelsea at home, Leeds United away, Crystal Palace at home, and Brentford away. Now, on paper, that's not a bad looking fixture. It's nice to get Burnley and Chelsea out of the way. 2 games we actually lost at home. last season to get out of the way. I felt we should have probably beaten Leeds away, but obviously circumstances were uncertain at that point because obviously over the Super League stuff, and thank goodness that's all done and dusted. How many points can you see us getting from those first 6?
Oh God, put me on the spot there. Norwich, we should beat them. Burnley at home. To be honest, I'm so optimistic. I can't see us not winning all. Obviously, apart from maybe Chelsea, and obviously Leeds. Chelsea and Leeds are the two, aren't you? You look at and you think, well, maybe even if we draw like Leeds away, that's a difficult game, and then Chelsea at home, that's always it doesn't matter if it's home or away, it's always difficult. So 3, 6, 9, 12. To be honest, I'd be happy even if we drew those two or we drew one of them. Then I think we can't really complain because they're obviously both good sides going away to Leeds. Like with Bielsa, he's just like a genius with the Leeds side, isn't he? So yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to be really optimistic this year. Like if we won and steamrolled all those teams, all 6 of them, and we were top of the league after the first 6 games, I wouldn't be surprised just because the feeling around the team, and obviously if the HENDO stuff gets resolved, obviously, because that might be a bit of a negativity around the place if that doesn't get resolved soon and it keeps lingering on. But like the Van Dijk back and Gomez back and Matip back, there's a lot just gone from the famine to the feast really in terms of centre half. So our game is built on having good centre half with pace and being able to let the full-backs attack. So we should see the whole Liverpool return this season. That's what I'm really excited about. And then Thiago with fans in the stadium, he hasn't really experienced that properly yet. And then there's Hotter as well, who hasn't really had that experience. So there's a load of players there that you think have done well, but they can really, really go another notch higher. And that's what I'm excited to see.
Yeah. Someone has said there's a spider on my shoulder. I haven't actually seen if there was a spider on my shoulder. I've not been looking. So thank you, Anthony, for pointing that out. I didn't really need that. But yeah, look, I think I look at those fixtures and then Chelsea, Leeds United, like them back to back's quite difficult. But Crystal Palace, you would expect us to win that. Brentford away, Brentford's. I'm looking forward to Brentford. Actually, we haven't played them since the '60s. I think if someone reminds me. So it's nice to see that. It's nice to see a new team actually back in the top flight as well. And then obviously our final 6 are Aston Villa away, Everton at home, Newcastle away, Tottenham at home, Southampton away, and Wolves at home. So again, not a bad run in for the end of the season. So I ask all my people this: what would be a successful season for us?
See, I don't know, it's just me being overly optimistic, but if we start like those first 6 fixtures, if we start like a house on fire, then I do see us winning the league again. I do, but I mean that just might be me completely with the red tinted glasses on. That I just feel like the atmosphere around the club and the big players back, that the sky's the limit for this team. But especially if we, like you said, we get some like Konate coming in, and if he starts really well and whatever, if he starts with Van Dijk, for example, then and he does well, then it's a good basis to build from that. But I think. Even if we finish top 2, because obviously we finished 3rd last year, which was a bit of a mad season, weren't it? Like, it was just crazy circumstances, and we were like out of it, then we were back in, then we were out again, then we were back in and again, and we finished 3rd, and we were all finished the season. Like, how the hell did we finish in 3rd? It was just crazy. So I think even top 2, obviously Man City are really good, and you've got Chelsea and other teams like that you think, well, you've got to compete with them as well. So it depends how good they do, and if it's all down to us. If we like I said, if we start the season in the right way and we just go about our things in a professional manner, then before you know it, we could be in a really good position. Come like you said, the last 6 games of the season, where it's not too bad to kind of get into those and go, right, these 6 games and for the title after a season where half these players were out for most of it, and that they'll be chomping at the bit as well to come back in it and make a point after being missed for so long last year.
Yeah, definitely. Pete Shepherd's asked a very interesting question. If Liverpool were to slip a little in the first 6 matches, does Klopp change anything formation-wise?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about this actually, hasn't he? Like maybe does he go 3-4-3? And I mean, for me, I would be very nervous about putting three fit centre halves out in a game for Liverpool after last
Yeah.
season. Very, and I
Yeah.
know we all would be. If it was Konate, Matip, and Van Dijk, for example, I'd be like, oh, like just yeah, let's not do that for now. Maybe give them a few months to see how the injuries react, and then we'll go from there. But I don't see any reason why we can't switch it up more. Obviously, we always go 4-3-3, but fullbacks are always bombing on. So there's no reason why we can't switch it up in a season where obviously everyone knows what we're going to do this season. Like the long ball over the top from Van Dijk or Gomez, and we're in. So it sounds easy, but stopping it is a lot more difficult than it sounds. So yeah, I imagine 3-4-3 might be an option. Maybe come like September, October, if need be, it gives Trent and Robbo more license to fly forward as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of options, and we've got a lot of good players to kind of to carry out those formations as well. So that only goes in our favour. Even if we change it in game, then it's all the more better for us.
Yeah, definitely. What's crazy about last season is Liverpool had no business finishing third given where they were in the table. Absolutely. Look, last season is just a crazy, crazy season. And I think it's one that we want to just put behind us and look ahead because nobody would have envisaged us having 22 centre-back partnerships. That's how serious it actually got in the Premier League. I mean, that's more than Premier League teams, for goodness sake. You know, it's mental. But yeah, I would be horrified if we played 3-4-3. But you know, it could be something that works. I don't agree with that. Man United are title favourites. I don't agree with that one bit.
Are you perhaps a Man United fan, Zachary? Because I've got a sneaking suspicion that you might be.
Well, we do have one Everton fan, and hello, James Dunlop. Yeah, I have to ask you this: Benitez at Everton. What were your thoughts of
Oh
that?
God, very bizarre, very bizarre. Honestly, when the news first broke, I actually thought that it was a hoax. I was like, "There's no way Rafa Benitez is going to go and sign for Everton after all he's done for Liverpool FC." But yeah, it's happened. I mean, obviously he's been to Chelsea, hasn't he? And I mean, to a lesser extent, he's been to Newcastle. So he's been to other Premier League clubs, and I just don't think he kind of factors that emotional side into his footballing decisions. I just think he goes, right, what's the best fit for me at the time? Obviously, he lives on the Wirral, which is just over the water from Liverpool, so it's ideal for him in terms of location. He can live where his house is. He doesn't have to move to wherever else in the country, because obviously he could have went to Crystal Palace. That job was going. Obviously, Patrick Vieira's got it now. He could have went there. He didn't. He could have went to Tottenham, another London club. He could have moved. He could have, obviously. He's probably definitely in the reckoning for that one as well. So he's just made a decision based purely on football and decisions, and who he maybe thinks is the best project for him. So in that regard, fair play. But I think it's still a bit of a bitter pill to swallow, because I think you think that they won't. You think in your mind, they're definitely not going to go there because he's been with us. He's got flags on the cop, and his name gets sung every time he comes back to Anfield and whatever. But yeah, I mean, if he goes there and gets them relegated, then we'll be like Agent Rafa, won't we? So we'll just have to see what happens.
Absolutely. Here we go. And Celeste fan channel title coming back down Filbert Way. Definitely not looking through blue and tinted glasses. Zachary Lee is a Liverpool fan, but we're old. Okay, very interesting. Bizarre's the right word. I agree. Manu made big signings, improved from last year's second place, and the young players will improve. They've made one signing, and I think that's Tom Heaton so far. I know Sancho's all but done, but then you have to get Varane. Like Varane's a good signing. I'm not going to get anywhere, on my high horse about that. It's just I think they need a DM if they want to be title contenders. In my honest opinion, anyway. But the problem with them is they've got Ollie, and I don't think he's a manager that kind of strikes me as a one that wins wins a title. But then again, we could say that. Pete Shepherd says Chelsea will get found out, possibly so, with a lack of striker.
Yeah, Giroud's gone to AC Milan, is he now?
Yeah. Top 3 team battling out will be City, Liverpool and Chelsea. Leicester United will battle out for fourth, says James Dunlop. I think Leicester with their signings will definitely challenge in the upcoming season. And Ant's agree with me. United haven't fixed their biggest flaw, the manager. Yeah, absolutely. So I've got a couple of questions for you. Which player, if any player, are you looking forward to watching the most this season?
Oh, God. I think the easy answer is Konate, isn't it? Yeah, but then honestly, it's this answer is usually the same for me. It's always Mo Salah, because I want to see if he betters the previous year, because he's just got that winning mentality in his blood. Obviously, I don't know if you've seen the clip where Matip scores a goal in training and he like turns away and he's absolutely livid that someone scored against his team in training, and that's what makes him. That's what makes him the best of the best, because he's got that even in training, and probably in like a five-a-side game with his kids he wants to win. He's got that mentality in his blood, and I think the goals he scored, like I think he got his second best ever total last year in terms of goals wise in all comps. So I'm excited to see Salah again. I just want to see how, after I think he's had 7 weeks rest, I honestly can't wait to see a Mo Salah after 7 weeks off, looking refreshed, looking happy, looking ready to go, and you know that he's going to want to break all those records again. So I honestly can't wait to see. And same in that same breath, maybe Mane as well, because Mane's had 5 weeks off. Yeah, probably the first time in like, I don't know, God knows, 6 years or whatever. So he's in the same bracket there, where those two are going to be very, very fresh, and I honestly can't wait to see how they look on the start of the season.
Yeah, Daka when he bags a hat-trick at Villa Park. Yeah, I suppose. Well, as Golden says, Ant, shush, we want Ollie driving the bus. Yes, we do. I agree, Sergio, but I'm not sure they would get top 4 after last season collapse. Well, possibly. I'm really hoping that Mbappe, that ain't happening. Sorry. I can clearly say that for a fact. Oh, wow, I'm looking forward to seeing Ox in his new position. If Harvey Elliott plays, then him too. Most importantly, Curtis Jones. Yes, yeah. Curtis Jones, I think, will get a lot more game time this season. I'm really looking forward to seeing them. Having Van Dijk and Gomez back is good for you guys. Yep, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to seeing how well they do. It's great to see Gomez back, actually. I'll be interested to see how well he and Van Dijk can, come back from very, very serious injuries. Just on Harvey Elliott, can you see him staying at the club this season to be in the first team fold?
I hope so. I really do. I mean, I think David Lynch posted something like saying that Harvey Elliott's going to stick around, and there's been conflicting reports about that. Whether, I mean, at the time he probably wrote that's probably true, but there's, like you said, there's a lot. Like I said before, there's a lot of domino effect in footy, especially at Liverpool. There's a lot of players that a lot of question marks about. So if we do get the right players that we need to out the door, maybe like a Shaqiri, who is great. I really do like Shaq, but it might be the time to move the likes of him on, and the likes of Origi on, and maybe Minamino comes under that category as well, where we can give that pathway for a Harvey Elliott to come back and go 18 years of age, and there's no doubt on his quality. There's absolutely not. He's absolutely unbelievable. I can't wait to see what he does. So I personally, I do hope he stays. I do, because I think even if he sticks around this year, like you said, Curtis Jones before, I think Curtis Jones played 34 games last year, all comps, and that's like, it was like double the year before. So if Harvey Elliott can come in, I think he's even said that even if he comes into the squad, into the fold this year, and plays like bit part role coming off the bench, I think even he'll be happy with that, because he's a Liverpool fan. He wants to play at this club, and I think that might be more beneficial to him than going out on loan. I think Klopp thought the exact same thing with Curtis Jones last year. Keep him around the squad. If we need him, we can put him on. He can have an impact. And I think Harvey Elliott might be the same this year, where comes off the bench and he's got that bit of quality where he'll just pick a little pocket of space, and he's got the quality to pick out a through ball with ease, Coutinho style. A lot of people like Coutinho now, but it is Coutinho-esque, the weight on the pass, and like how the direction on the ball and how good it is. And he's got an eye for goal as well. So the sky's the limit for him. So yeah, I do hope he stays because I think it will benefit us, especially when he's playing around the likes of Salah and Mane and the other players we've got in the squad. That'll only elevate his level as well. So that's a good thing for us.
And also the if, and it's a big if it goes ahead, the AFCON Nations Cup as well. So we'll lose Salah, we'll lose Mane, we'll lose Keita as well. So it's important to have that backup. And I think Harvey Elliott could deputise for sure. Pete Shepherd is a big City fan. He's asked if, and it's a big if, City pull off a Grealish and Kane poach, does City run away with the league title again?
I'm not sure, I mean, I just don't see that. Maybe one of them, but if they get... I mean, at one point, a few weeks ago, it was like, they're getting Grealish and Kane for 200 mil. I was like, the Premier League's just an absolute joke for allowing like someone to like let that happen, that you can just spend 200 mil on like two of the best players in the league. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if Grealish is the right player for them, to be honest. I mean, I can see Kane fitting in, but I think like the midfielders they've got at the moment, like De Bruyne and stuff like that, they want the ball into feet and they're going to whip it out as soon as possible. Whereas a Grealish, I think he's a Coutinho type player where he needs to be the main man. It needs the play needs to go through him. I mean, obviously, I'm not that on Grealish's quality. I love him. He's great, but I do feel like an Aston Villa and that type of club where you give him the ball and he runs with it and gets you the free kick, or he gets you the penalty, or he scores off it because he's got that ability. That's more suited to him. I just don't know if this. I mean, I might be completely wrong. If City sign Grealish and he gets Player of the Year or whatever, then fair play. But I just don't see that fitting. But yeah, I mean, City, even if they don't sign any of those players, they're still unbelievable, aren't they? They're still a major threat to us for next year. So yeah, that's our main competitor for next year, I think so.
Yeah, definitely. Hello to Jack Mack. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Whoever wins the title won't run away with that. I think it might be a tighter title race. Yep, absolutely. Anne says Grealish needs to be the big fish, and I'm backing Salah to get top scorer this season. Well, he would go past 100 Premier League goals, I think, wouldn't he? He's stuck on. He's stuck in the mid-90s, I think. So he needs a couple more goals to get 100 Premier League goals. But his stats are just absolutely insane right now. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Guys, if you have any questions in the chat for both of us to answer, then do these right now as well. So obviously we were Champions League quarter finalists last season. Do you think we could go one better this season? Maybe get the Champions League? Because to be honest, I would like to have big years again. I would like to win big years again.
Yeah, I mean, it literally all depends on how we. I mean, like I said, if we do start like a house on fire in the league, then we might go, right, let's put all our eggs in this basket and let's get the Premier League back to Liverpool again. But I think it literally all depends as who you get drawn against, who's in your group. If you get through it literally where you are in the league. But obviously, we would love another trip to another Champions League final, and if we won it again, that would be. Obviously, to win 7 would just be like you get into the echelons there where you're just absolutely unbelievable. Like Real Madrid, they've got like 13, is it, or 14?
Yeah.
Just ridiculous numbers. So the more we can claw back on them, the better, really. So yeah, I'm sure Klopp will be. And I think that comes back to again like Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones is of the squad that. Those type of games, we're going to need a lot of strength and depth to kind of keep us going in both of those. Like maybe earlier in the Champions League, we might play a few of those players to see what they're made of and see what they can provide for us. So yeah, I mean, obviously, and then if we make some more signings, then better. We can kind of go on all fronts then and kind of go for as many as we can, because we do kind of sometimes tail off in other tournaments, in other competitions like FA Cup and whatever, and we kind of go, yeah, let's fuck that, it doesn't matter. And then we kind of put our eggs in a basket. Whereas I'm hoping we might just go on fire on all fronts this year, because I think we've got the feeling in the city and around the club is very good at the moment. Obviously, barring today's news about Hendo, obviously hopefully that resolved. But yeah, a lot of positivity. So I'm hoping that they'll all be refreshed and ready to go and to win as much as they can. Because, like I said, the that forward three are not getting any younger, and they're going to want to win as much as they can, and they're going to have that fire in the belly, refreshed fans back in the stadium. There's a lot to be positive about.
Yeah, definitely. Jack Max asked a really interesting question. Could Liverpool's medical staff see something that we haven't in terms of medically given Hendo's injury record? I want him to retire at us.
Honestly, no idea. I mean, yeah, he has been picking up a few more injuries, hasn't he? I mean, that's probably to be expected as you get over 30. I think he's 31 now, isn't he? So I think it's just honestly, he's got 2 years left, so his contract's till he's 33. So they're not going to rush into something that they might come to regret if the injuries get worse and he's like out for touch wood, if he gets a bad injury and he's out for ages and then he just can't find his feet and he can't get back. You've got to prepare for the worst eventuality, haven't you? So I'm hoping that, obviously we all hope that it's gonna get sorted. But yeah, I mean that could be part of it. I mean, there's a lot of statistics in footy nowadays where they're looking at metrics and whatever else, and yeah, that could play a part in it. But I'm hoping not. And these are talisman. He's led us to what we've done over the last 3 years. So we need him in the squad and we need him in the team. I mean, he's the first name on the team sheet. If you ask me who my first name is, he literally is the first name because he has that much of an impact on the rest of the team. I think you've seen that last year, even with no fans in the stadium. And I think with fans in the stadium, he's got to be the first name on the team sheet for us because he leads us in the right way. And I think this whole stuff will hopefully get resolved soon.
Yeah. Demo Dre's asked, do you guys think we will sign a striker? I'm going to say I don't think we will. If not, is Jota a better number 9 than Origi? I've got a feeling Origi might be staying. Do you know that? I've got a feeling that scholarship at Liverpool, was it Moores University? I actually wonder if that's actually got him an extension to keep him at the club. What do you think?
I think it's time for Origi to leave. Personally, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I love him, and I'll always love him for the moments. Like he went out on loan to Lille, and he went out on loan to Wolfsburg as well, I think. And he came back, and we were just kind of waiting for him to leave, and he didn't. He sticked around, and then he had all those iconic moments with Everton and Barcelona and in Madrid against Spurs. There's so many moments where you think like that he's gonna be in folklore for the rest of his life and the rest of our lives. That we're always going to look back on his time with the club fondly for those memories. But I think at this moment in time, he just needs a clean break. I feel like even when he was coming on off the bench, he was just. It was kind of, you'd get to the point where you'd be like, oh, Origi's coming on, and you never want that. You want someone on the bench who you go, right, there we go. Like Harvey Elliott, he's going to come on, he's going to show some fire in his belly, he's going to drop into pockets, try and make something happen. And Origi wasn't really doing that. Like I think the game against Everton where we beat them 5-2, he got a start at Anfield and he played like he was amazing. And it's like, but he just can't. He wasn't producing that on a constant enough basis, and you can't really put him in the team. I mean, you can take him off the bench and put him on because he's tall and he might get you a header off a corner or whatever. But I feel like he grasping straws at that point. I just don't think he's got the desire or the quality at the moment that we need at the bench. If you look at City and the people they're bringing off the bench, then it's like chalk and cheese, and that needs to be addressed, I think. And I think that's why I think hopefully, and for him, that he finds another club.
Yeah, that Pickford crossbar goal is worth it all for Div. Yeah, absolutely. James Dunlop's asked a very good question. Are you guys still looking for a Wijnaldum replacement? Yes. I think John McGinn would be perfect for you guys. I have to say, I like John McGinn. Now, obviously, that's maybe being biased as a Scotsman, but I really do think John McGinn is a very good midfielder. Whether or not he is a good midfielder enough for Liverpool, that's another thing. Are you a fan of John McGinn?
I do like John McGinn. Yeah, he's a good player. It's just I think for most fans, it's not a flashy name, is it? Like John McGinn. It's just like Scottishman. Yeah, he's gonna give you 100% whatever. But when you watch him a bit more, you do realise that he's technically good. He's like a terrier. He gets in and around the ball. He's actually got an eye for the pass. He can grab you at a goal. Ticks a lot of boxes there for what Liverpool desires from a midfielder. But from what I've been reading lately from like journalists, that we're going to go outside the Premier League because the prices that these players are attracting is just too much. It's ridiculous. Like upwards of like 50 million, and you're like, wow, like it's just, especially in the current climate when no one's got any money because of coronavirus, then it's just, yeah, maybe in an alternate universe where coronavirus didn't happen, then John McGinn may sign for Liverpool, but I just don't think I don't think that happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. If everyone is fit and we sign Sol, does Hendo even get our best midfield? Fab, Thiago, Sol. That's a good question. That I would probably have Hendo over Thiago, just probably. But then again, Sol may have to get some time to gel into the Premier League. So I would probably say Hendo probably over Sol there. I still think it's Fab, Thiago, Hendo for me as well. And the final one I will ask you before we head off, excluding VVD, who would be the player this season that would have the biggest impact on your record if they went down with a prolonged injury?
Oh, God. Maybe Fabinho. Maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say Fabinho.
As a 6, he's honestly the best in the world, and I think we've seen that when we were struggling. He was going centre half, and he was so good at centre half that we were kind of going, "Oh, could this be his new position going forward?" Then he goes back into CDM, and he's just breaking up play for fun and setting up attacks, and you just realise how good he is in that position. Like he's unbelievable. Like there's only very few players that you can think of that can be similar to him, and all the ones that you talk about are world class, like Patrick Vieira and players like that for Arsenal that were just terrific on both aspects of the game, defensively and offensively. I think he's good at both. So I think maybe him. Obviously, there's a load of players you could say like Salah, Mane, and if you take Salah's goals out, it's a massive deficit there in terms of our output. But I think Fabinho, in terms of how we play, I think he's quite key to all that.
Yeah, I think I read a stat actually. I think barring the Real Madrid game, I think we only lost one game with Fabinho and DM. I think it was that Real Madrid game. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, you saw how important he is for the DM role. Guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Big thank you to Mick for coming on. It's been nice to actually chat LFC news and obviously look ahead to the new season as well. And again, congratulations on 1K subscribers as well. Just can you tell us a little bit about what's coming up on the Kopite podcast? Got anything planned or?
Well, we've done a few. I think I've probably done overkill on the Neil Jones stuff, but that was like 5 days ago now. I've done a little chat with him about all Van Dijk and Gomez and Konate and Matip and transfers and whatever else. That was great. And then famous fans wise, we had Paul Smith on, who's a boxer. So we were talking about Liverpool and how he grew up in Liverpool and done boxing and won titles, and then but supporting Liverpool as well and going to the game and Jurgen Klopp and all that kind of stuff. But there's a few on the horizon. Obviously, I can't probably say too much because some of them are J's and he might come and hunt me down and kill me. So, but I think he said that there's the story of a crew, which is obviously a crew kit, obviously 1996, 97 kit, and now it's back out again this year. So he's done a little drill down into that, and we've spoke to some pretty exciting names. So that's going to be good when that comes out. I've got a few in the pipeline that I can't wait, honestly. Obviously, I haven't told anyone, but I honestly can't wait to get them recorded and put them out there. So, yeah, go and have a look at them. But, yeah, we'll be back with loads once the season starts. And I'm going to do a chat with Paul Gorst from the Echo. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to do that next Wednesday. And that'll be the sequel to the Neil Jones one. So, pre-season press, episode 2. So, look out for that one. But, yeah, nice one, Doug, for having me on. I honestly really appreciate it.
Oh, absolute pleasure, and I'm pretty sure we'll have you on again. Maybe even get Jay to come on as well.
Definitely.
Definitely try and get that as well. But yeah, guys, if you have enjoyed this, please hit that like button and please hit that subscribe button if you're new. Also, go and subscribe to the Kopite podcast, newest members of the 1K club, as I like to call it as well. But thank you very, very much for watching. And we'll see you later. You'll never walk alone. See you later. Bye-bye.